Hi, welcome to another episode of Just Living Designs podcast. My name is Shannon, Just Living Designs, and this is episode number 6. I'm quite amazed that I've been pretty good about getting back every 2 weeks or so. So yeah, Shannon, Just Living Designs. You can find all my shop links below for all my patterns. I have a link tree that goes to Ravelry, Payhip, and Lovecraft. And then also I have just my Ravelry linked right below, because that's usually where most people shop, but I know some people can't shop there. So that's why I have a couple other places that you can find my patterns. Yeah, so like I said, episode 6. I'm Shannon, hailing from Billings, Montana. Knitwear designer, independent knitwear designer. I'm not big by any means, but I do have a lot of patterns out there because I do like to design patterns. Usually they're more smaller designs, but actually what I'm wearing is actually my one and only sweater. I have a t-shirt and sweater pattern, so this is one of 2 garments that I've designed. So I'll show this off in just a second. Other than that, I think we'll get right into it. I'll talk about what I'm wearing and a design that I released last week over Thanksgiving. And I'll talk about my finished objects. There's actually a lot because I've been gift knitting. Anybody else out there gift knitting? I'll talk about my whips. There's not that many that I'm actively working on. And then acquisitions towards the end, if you don't want to see those, you know, and I'll talk about reading and watching and life stuff at the end. So that's what we're gonna do. So to start off, like I said, I am wearing one of my only sweater design, and this is actually the second one of this pattern that I made, designed. Move my chair back a little bit. So yeah, it is called Winter Nights. It's a cardigan. It is a contiguous knit cardigan where you start at the back, and I have an exposed seam line for the pickup stitches, and you knit down the back, and then you pick up one front and then another front, and then you start joining them around. It has the it's not a button band, but the, you know, the non-button band, because it's just open cardigan. Knit as you go. Has pockets. This one I put in a contrast color for the pockets because I love that little peak. It's twisted rib detailing for the button band and the ribbings at the bottom, and then there is a little bit down the side on each side that kind of makes it not so oversized. So this one is size 2 of my pattern. My original one that I made was size 3, which gave me about 12 inches of positive ease. This one's more like 8 inches, and I prefer this personally to wear. That other one's super soft and cozy, but I prefer it just not quite as oversized for me. But for the pattern, I say about 8 to 12. So I knit one in each size within my range. And this one was knit out of shepherd's wool. I actually have some right back here. Shepherd's wool from Stonehenge Fiber Mill in the US. They used to sell this like at other LYS's, and I got it at Sticks, which is in Bozeman. And then they stopped because their dye house stopped dyeing, something like that. And so I think they still do sell it, but only on their website because they dye it themselves. And this was the color Granite. I have a whole nother sweater quantity of this color to make something else. It's just a really good medium gray. It's very soft. Like I said, it's made in the United States, in Michigan. And it's a lovely soft wool, but since it is softer, it does pill a little bit. So I do need to clean this one again, but it's very warm and soft and lovely. And I love cardigans because I keep my house a little bit cooler. I guess I can move forward a little bit. I keep my house a little bit cooler, and so depending on what I'm doing, if I'm like running around a lot throughout the house, cleaning stuff. I get warm, take off a sweater, and then when I'm not, I'm cozied up in it. Drinking tea. This is another Stone Cottage Pottery and Farm mug. It's just a plain purpley one. And she's local to Montana. All right. For the design, I did talk about this on the last episode because I had just finished knitting them. And then my daughter got to wear them because they were her Thanksgiving socks. And I released it on Thanksgiving, I think. And I had it on pretty good sale over that weekend. And then now it's just normal priced, but it is my Book Nook DK. So I have this pattern in fingering weight as well, and this is the DK option. It is knit for either toe up or top down. I knit these ones toe up. The yarn choices I used were Needles at the Ready. It's Fall Y'all, and then the contrast was left over from some socks that I made last year maybe, and it is Legacy Fiber Arts in their DK and espresso bean, I think. And I thought it just was a nice contrast to it. This pattern, like I said, it's written for both top down, toe up. It has a shadow wrap heel and DK weight yarn, so it goes pretty quick. I knit my DK weight socks on US 2 because I'm a looser knitter. So most people might use like a 3 or a 4 to get gauge. I use 2 for the sock body and a 2.5, a US 2.5 for the cuff, because I like my socks tall. And this is a tip I learned from Ann Budd years ago. And I write it in all my patterns to have a bigger needle for your cuff. If you're knitting tall socks, most people, because you do your sock measurement around the ball of your foot, most people's calves where their socks hit are larger than around the circumference of their foot. So if you don't see, it doesn't flare out or anything because it's ribbing, but it gives it a lot more stretch up here. So it will fit around your calf and not be tight, because one of the main reasons socks fall down is because they're too tight at the cuff. So they'll fall, or at the top of the leg, and so they'll fall down. If you give them enough stretch, and that's why you do ribbing, it adds extra stretch so it can suck in, but if you give it enough stretch, it shouldn't fall down. So, little tip. And like I said, in all my sock patterns, I usually have that written down, and I usually have it as an option, and you know, that's why, because it just fits better for most people. Unless you got little legs like my son, and I usually don't go up a needle size for him because he's just skinny mini. All right, so I'll put those down there. So yeah, like I said, I will have that pattern link below along with this one because it's what I'm wearing. Those are a couple of my designs. Now the rest of my finished objects are either gift knits, or like I finished up my class beanie that I was teaching last time. But let's go to socks again. So I can't remember if I had these cast on last time or not. But they were my last Thanksgiving socks to knit. I don't think I had them cast on last time. And these were for my husband. This is just a vanilla toe up sock pattern with a cut-in afterthought heel and then ribbing on the leg. And so I did contrast for the toe and the cuff, and then I used the same main skein because it's self-striping. It's just a funky self-striping for the heel. I love to put the self-striping in the heel when I do afterthought heels. So like I said, these were for my husband for Thanksgiving. He wore them on Thanksgiving. I got them done like the day before, I think, so he got to wear them. They've been washed and blocked. This is Area 51 fibers in the colorway Slaps Giving, which is awesome. It's, if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, it's a great episode about the slap bet and how it's, yeah. So I made a little reel on my Instagram too, if you want to see what I usually do when I cut in heels. I make sock puppets and then I sing a song to it. That I have a bunch of my stories, like my saved stories is all sock puppets. So you can see all of them that I've done over the years. When I first started, I didn't do it to music, and now I do it to music and they sing. But every time I cut in a heel, I always do a little sock puppet before I actually pick up the stitches, just because I think it's so cute and funny. It makes my day. Anything to make you happy, right? And so the contrast, I think, was Sweet Georgia's Tough Love sock, and maybe it's on my project page. I can't remember what color, but I had a little mini set, and I used these for something else, and I didn't use very much of it, so I had plenty left to make it for the contrast color. And this was size, this is a thicker sock yarn. Usually I knit my husband a size 68 stitch sock, but when it's an 80-20 thicker yarn like this, I usually knit him 64 stitches. All right. Then I have some hats. First, I'll talk about the class. So last time I had this cast on, and I think I was just a few inches before I had to do the decreases, because I taught it for a class. So I had to teach the decreases for class. So I got some new briochers out there that know how to do brioche and do some decreases. So that's awesome. And this is one of those 4-stitch decreases. So you do it over 5 stitches. So you're decreasing a lot once, and it's like passing it over. But this is the Harlow Worsted beanie by Andrea Mowry. I knit this one out of Loopy Mango in their Dream base, which is a worsted base. It's very soft, and this is for my daughter. She wanted this hat years ago, and I didn't teach the class again for a little while, so then I didn't knit it, but now she gets it. And now that I've showed it to you, she really gets it, and it's just a nice little beanie, and she'll be happy to have it. Yeah. Next is, oh shoot, I don't remember. I'll have it linked below, the designer. I think it's one of the owners or something of Hudson and West, but I knit the Hudson hat, or Hudson beanie, by Hudson and West in their Weld yarn in, let's see, is it Smoke and Midnight marled together? So Weld is fingering weight, and I held them together, and it's just a 1x1 beanie, and then decreases on top. This is a gift knit. So here's another little trick. This is what I do every year for my gift knits. I make a little tag, say handmade by Shannon. Some of them actually in the years past have been handmade by my daughter's name, Emery, because she knits or crochets things for people as well. And then I'll write what it is, and then the care instructions. So, and then I just tie a little label on for them, and at least they get it right away. If they lose it and forget what to do, then that's on them, but at least they get the care instructions right away. And this was bought, well, I think one of the colors at least was bought in a kit that Hudson and West had last year maybe, that came with the little tag to put on the hat. So I sewed that on as well. I mean, you're gonna see it with the tag on the front, but it it's a nice little beanie. Nice and stretchy because it's 1x1 rib. So that is a gift knit that I gotta get in the mail, because everything we usually don't travel over Christmas because it's hit or miss on the weather, and everybody's within driving distance, but I mean, some of them are like 13 hours driving distance. Except for the family that lives over in Scotland. They're not. And then the last thing I finished, I just finished yesterday or two days ago maybe. He's super cute. And this is from Imagine Landscapes. Little gnome. I actually copied the colors. Well, not the same yarn, but the colors that she designed this gnome in. This one's gnome, pun intended. And I love it because of the first time I saw this one, I loved it, but I just took forever to actually knit it because of the crinkly hat. It's just awesome. And my family's like bummed that I'm giving it away, so they told me I had to make another one for us. But yeah, he is super cute. Like I said, Imagine Landscapes. I used leftovers of palette from Knit Picks. I can't remember all the colors. I have it linked. I'll have it linked in the pattern page below. Again, like I said, it's a gift knit. This one shouldn't ever have to be washed, so I just have no on there with no care instructions. But super cute. I have the little like poly bead pellets, so it sits a little bit better. And yeah, adorable. I love him. So now he's gonna sit up here and watch us. Let's not forget about him. Okay. So yeah, that's all my FOs. Like I said, a couple of those, well, they're all gifts really. A couple are for Christmas. And my daughter was wanting that hat forever, and I knit it for class, and then socks for my husband for Thanksgiving. So lots of finished objects. And I have finished a few more things. Again, they're work related, so they are pattern designs. I have one pattern out with testers right now, and maybe it will be available around the time that I podcast next, and maybe I'll at least show it during that podcast, even if it's not quite out and released yet. We'll see. We'll see what life brings. All right. So for WIPs, works in progress, I have my last pair of Christmas socks to make sure that everybody gets at least one new pair before Christmas is for my son. And there we go. I cast these on the other day, and they are a self-striping. This is just my toe-up sock pattern. Well, it's a toe-up, you know, I have my own numbers, recipe, and then I'm going to do it afterthought heel, so I have it marked, and I do the little stitch bulb markers every 10 rows to count my rows for my second sock. And then you can see this linked on the video that I made for my how I do afterthought heels, but I put a stitch bulb marker on either side of the heel stitches and then one directly in the middle. And like here, I'm using the naturally colored, like metal colors for the actual sock, and then I have the colorful ones for the heel, so I can tell the difference easier. And then later I'll just go in and pick up my stitches and cut my heel in. Ooh, almost dropped it. But this colorway is, let's see, I probably have the tag in here. This is Mustache Yarn, Father Christmas. I got these actually, this yarn from a sock swap of some sort. Might have been the Winter Wishes sock swap that La Mercerie does. Might have been a different one, but I can't remember. I got it years ago. And it is Father Christmas, and I had 55 grams of it left, so it's plenty to make my son a pair of socks. So and then the contrast color is a Tweety sock from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers from her first year of sock club, which I made my husband a pair of socks out of that yarn, and this really dark, deep blue. I thought it would, you know, lend well to this sock. So yeah, just using leftovers. So it's kind of cool. My son gets a pair of socks that I have yarn from, you know, and then my husband does. So a little bit of both of us. And this one's in a bag. I think I showed this bag last time, maybe, because I got it as an acquisition. It is in my Fat Squirrel holiday bag, and I love it. And, you know, when she has updates, they don't last very long, but it's really cute. My other WIP that I'm going to show you, there's, like I said, I've got some work knitting going on and stuff like that, but I'm not actively working on a lot of things, and I haven't done my daughter's sweater very much since the last podcast, but I have worked a little tiny bit on my jelly roll blanket, which I think I showed it in the very first episode, and I haven't shown it since because I haven't put a lot of effort into it. But my hope is, where am I? It's hairy too because of dogs. My hope and goal is to get this done by the end of the year, since I'm not going to, I do have some Advent stuff to do. Like, well, I have the 4 weeks of Advent micro skein sock set from Legacy Fiber Arts that I showed last time. And then I just have my self-striping Advent socks. And I might not, I don't know how many of those socks I will actually make from the Legacy Fiber Arts one. But for the most part, I'm kind of done with gift knitting, I think. I have a few things to make still, but I might be done. We'll see. I have to go through everything and see if I'm done. And then I'm going to take a little pause on work knitting for a little bit, I think. And maybe I'll focus on this blanket. So I am on, what is it, the 9th stripe? Yeah, I'm on the 9th strip, I guess. And last time I showed it, I was just finishing up this brown. And so I finished up the 8th strip. And I just use either leftovers from projects or minis or whatever in this. This was a pair of socks I made for my daughter, the contrast color. And sometimes it depends on the amount. Like I said, I talked about this in the first one. This is all I have left of that one that I'm currently working on. So I'll finish that one up. But some of these have like a fair amount in here. Like this is a lot, and that's a leftover from a project. I probably won't use all of that in here. I'll probably, you know, get to a good amount, but some are just, you know, small little nuggets. Here's the leftover actually from the contrast of my husband's socks for Thanksgiving. So that's in there. These are new leftovers. This was the contrast of my son's socks, his fall Thanksgiving socks that I showed last time, you know, so, and it's fun because like my memory, I don't know, it works this way. I remember most of these yarns if I used them in a project. I might not remember the dyer or the name of the yarn, but I remember the yarn, I remember working with it, and I remember what project I put it in. Some of them also are just, for a while there, I was doing the row 1 minis. Like this one and this one are both from that. So they were 10 grams each, I think. I also have another scrappy blanket that uses about 10 grams. So some of these get used in both if there's a lot. But yeah, it's good. So, you know, I'm hoping that I only need 10 to 11 strips and then the I-cord. So like I said, if I just start working on this, I could get it done for the year and have a big old blanket off my needles, and that would be nice. So we'll see. That's my plan, at least. All right. So, and hopefully next time you see it, it will have a lot more done. All right. So we're going to talk about some acquisitions and reading and watching in life stuff. So if all you wanted to see was the works in progress, thanks for joining me. But yeah, I'll show you a few of the acquisitions because I had some stuff come in the mail. And then there was also a small business Saturday and stuff like that. Let's see, first thing I got that came in the mail was I ordered after the whole Wool and Folk fiasco and some of those dyers that didn't really even make enough to pay for their booth fees. I looked on that list and found one that I had never heard of before, and then looked it up, and this was Coats & Co. And this was a 140 grams. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that makes 7. So 20 grams minis of their fall autumn tonal set. And I love minis, and you know, these will make great heels, tones, and cuffs, or gnomes if I want to make more gnomes. Or they can go on blankets because I do a lot of sock yarn blankets. But yeah, they'll probably end up being socks, parts of socks. I could just, you know, I do have a couple patterns that use like a lot of minis in them. I could make a version of those too. But I love fall colors, so this spoke to me. So yeah. And then Needles at the Ready podcast has a little like hashtag on Instagram to help support these people. And I will try to remember and link that down below as well. Let's see. Another one that came in the mail was, I don't remember if they were there, but I saw this pop up and I just had to have it. I've been eyeing them for years. This company is a Whimsical Wood Yarn Co. And they have funny names, and all their dyes, a lot of their dye techniques is like this, so it should micro stripe really pretty. But this one was Big Ass Lump of Coal. It's What's for Christmas, and it has like a lighter gray with speckles of red and gray, and then more medium gray on this end. And I was like, it's a Christmas yarn, but it's not a Christmas yarn. So it's like, I can make it for somebody for Christmas next year and it'd be funny. So I bought that and I loved it. And then for LYS, well, not LYS, Shop Small Saturday, I went to my LYS and I bought, they had a deal on all their paper was their deal. So it was books, and they have some stationery type stuff. I don't know what else. But I've been wanting to get the Coco Knits Sweater Workshop book for a long time. It could help me with just understanding designing better. But also, you know, some of the patterns in here are very lovely. So, yeah. So I bought that book. I don't think it's in print anymore, actually. And I think they only had a couple copies left. So, anyways, looking forward to getting into that. I also bought, while I was there, so my daughter bought some stuff too. She went with me and she got some cotton yarn, I think, because she likes to make washcloths for people. And then, I don't know if she got anything else. And then I got some skeins of Camper by Kelborn Woolens. And I might make some more marled hats because I thought they're fun. And what did I do? I got, I think, these two to go together. So this is like a charcoal heather with graphite heather. And it'd be a very like muted marl. And then I have a more natural color in my stash already of this. So I got stone heather. And this is all fingering weight, 200 grams. If I don't use it for like hats, it would be great for, it's soft. I mean, I can make like anything, and it could be good in color work or whatever. So it will just go in the stash. Oh, other things in the mail. I forgot I had this. I need to make some of these. I got the Barrett Wool Fabric Star Kit. I actually bought a second color for it, but she released these a while back, and I got a kit with an extra amount of fabric to make some fabric stars. And I just thought it would be fun and a little bit different. It's not knitted ornaments, but I don't have to sew. It's just, I have to iron. I can iron. And then I did buy some more fabric actually from Joann's. I forgot to bring up, but these are the ones that I got from them. So there's like a tealy colored one, and then more of a navy, and it looks like navy and red. So these two will go together, make a star, and these two, which is the other one, is, yeah, it's a paler teal geometric-y, will go together to make a star. So yeah, that should be exciting and fun. Hopefully. I like crafting. It's something different. And always Barrett Wool, when you get a kit, they send a lovely little bag to put your project in, or use, like, sometimes I use these within a project to kind of separate out the yarns or other things like that. Or I'll put, like, I have some bags like that up there. I don't know if you can see, where I have, like, I want to keep this together, so I use it in a future project, you know, so sometimes I'll just use those for that. Okay, and then the last one is not, well, I don't know, if you puzzle, it's a jigsaw advent puzzle. I don't like puzzles. I get frustrated with puzzles, but my husband loves puzzles of all sorts, and my daughter loves jigsaw puzzles. And so I bought this for my husband for advent. And it's one of those where it's, actually I can open it up. Sorry. But it's one of those where you get a box and every day leading up to Christmas, you open up one box, and so it's a 1,000-piece puzzle. So what does that work out to? About 40 pieces a day, and it makes a little section of the puzzle. And I think on the back of this one, they're all numbered. So when we're done, we can actually take it apart, put them back in the boxes, and you know, somebody else can do it next year, or we can gift it to somebody and they can do it that likes puzzles. So I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. And I bought it actually on Amazon, but it was from a small seller. It's the Vermont Christmas Company. So that's where it comes from. And it's just a cute, it reminds me of like a Hallmark movie scene. But I thought it would be fun for my husband, because usually I don't get him Advents. And I thought, wow, you know, the kids get a Lego one plus like a candy one, like they share. So they go back and forth between, one gets to open the Lego one day and on odd days, and one gets to open the candy on odd days, and then they switch. So that way they don't get in too much candy and we don't have so much Lego Advent. But yeah, so that's what we've been doing from them for years. And then I always get Yarny ones generally. So one year I got a tea one for myself, which my husband had some of the tea as well, but he didn't get to open anything. So this year he gets to open something and make it. So I thought it'd be kind of fun for him to do. And they have to clear off the card table in 2 days. They have, my husband and my son have a game of Magic going, Magic the Gathering cards going, that they need to finish up, wrap up, so they can, he can start building his puzzle on that. All right, so I think that's all. We are not religious at all, but I was brought up in a religious household, and so I celebrate Christmas season with decorations and doing Christmas holiday things. We just don't have the religious aspect of it. I like the idea of opening little things. I like the idea of making winter more bright and cheery. So our house is lit up and we have decorations. I love the, it's really a pagan tradition of bringing a tree inside. To bring in the life inside. So I've always been a fan of Christmas trees, and we get a real one every year. And, just all that type of stuff. And like I said, it's about family and gathering and sharing love and showing people love and appreciation with gifts. And that's why usually I hand make as many gifts as I can, or I buy like from local or small businesses to support. Or if somebody tells me exactly what they want, I'll get them that. All right. And then let's see, reading and watching. So I'm still reading the same things. I will finish this one shortly because it's almost done. This is the end of the book, but I am reading Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is my nighttime reading book. My other book is off to the side until I finish this one, because I just had to start reading it the second I bought it, which was on the day it came out. And then I am still listening to A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. That'll be going for a while because it's a long book, and I usually only listen, like I said before, when I clean, or sometimes when I'm knitting, but usually just when I'm cleaning. But this book is awesome. I love this, and I know I have to wait like almost a year before the third one comes out. And I don't know if she's planning on more than 3. But, I would reread this series. That's how good it is. And that rarely happens for me. And then watching, it's been a lot of like Christmas movies and stuff like that. We're still watching the Goosebumps series because we got all caught up with it. And then we had to wait for the next one to come out. And then we had to wait for my daughter to come home to watch it with us because she was at a debate tournament. So I think we still have more to watch now of that. And then, yeah, I just watch a lot of knitting podcasts usually. And then, yeah, Christmas movies. So we've watched on Thanksgiving, I think we watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, because that's a Halloween and Christmas movie. So Thanksgiving movie. And then we watched Christmas Story. The kids wanted to watch that one night. So we watched that, and then now everybody's busy again, so we won't watch anything together again. My son and I watched The Grinch, the newer animated one, the other night. Well, we might watch it again with the family because my daughter likes that as well. I've also kind of watched a few of the cheesy, Hallmarky Netflix type Christmas movies. They're just like fluff. I'm not usually that type of person that likes that type of movies, but this time of year I'm like, it's in the background, I'll admit. So I watch them. And then life stuff is just, we've been, like, the kids busy with school, of course. My daughter is in speech, and so she has another tournament this weekend, and they leave, I think, at 8:30 in the morning on Friday. I don't know, it's really early. So she won't go to any classes. I'll drop her off at school, and then she'll basically get on the bus and go. And then she'll get home really late Saturday night. And she had one debate tournament. And then she was sick the next week. The week before Thanksgiving, she was sick. So she missed a couple days of school. Son, school, he loves video games, loves board games, loves all those things. We went to the Friday before Thanksgiving. We went to, we got tickets for the Mannheim Steamroller concert. And I'm going to say I was disappointed. I guess I was expecting like a large orchestra. It was just one of their small groups. So it was like, what, 6 or 7 individuals that travel. And then they fill it up with a little bit more of local musicians. And anything that they don't, they have like synthesized sound. And so and then the screen images that were in the background were, I mean, some of them were like so old and so bad. I went because my mom loved Mannheim. We lost my mom a couple of years back, and she loved Mannheim Steamroller. And so I thought it was going to be, and my husband really loves Mannheim, and I thought it was going to be better. So I guess I had high expectations, and I was a little disappointed. Anyways, then we had Thanksgiving, and we didn't go anywhere, and we didn't have anybody here. So it was just the 4 of us. We still had a giant turkey, but I make turkey soup out of the, I make stock and then make soup and all that stuff. So we save it. And note, if you make a large turkey and have a lot of meat left over, if you make the stock out of the turkey carcass and everything, and neck, and all the pieces, freeze your stock with turkey pieces in it. Like, chop up your turkey and put it in there, and it does not dry out. It keeps it good, and you're gonna use it for soup. That's what I do every year. It works really well. And then we went to the holiday parade that they have downtown here in Billings every year, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we did that. It was really cold. It was a little bit above 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but it felt colder because there was a little bit of a breeze, and my son has like 0 body fat, so he froze. But that was fun. We hadn't been to that for so long. I don't even know the last time we went, but usually a lot of times we're not in town, or when people come to visit us for Thanksgiving, we end up usually having our big meal on Friday. And so nobody really wants to like get bundled up and go out and go to a parade after that. Cause I usually eat my meal, between 4 and 5, so it's like an early dinner, but not, so we have time to like rest and relax and digest before we have pie and coffee. And then we went to the Nutcracker. Every year our Billings Symphony puts on the Nutcracker, and they have a ballet company come in, and it was the San Diego Ballet. And then the School of Classical Ballet from Billings has, like the kids and other things, the younger characters are in that. And so that was the first year we've ever gone to it. I've wanted to go to it forever. And again, that's because a lot of times we're either traveling for Thanksgiving, or we have people over, and we're just not sure if they would want to go. And, it's like, you got to plan way in advance, and usually we don't plan that far in advance. But then once we realized we weren't going anywhere and nobody was coming here, we were like, let's see if they have tickets still. So we got tickets and we went to that, and that was really good. Everybody enjoyed it. It was the first time I've ever seen the Nutcracker live. I've seen it on TV, like on PBS when I was little, but I've never seen it live, and I would definitely go again. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I used to be in dance when I was in like grade school until I got bad knees at a young age. I think I was done in dance by 5th or 6th grade because my first knee surgery was 7th grade. My uncle was a choreographer. That was his job, and he like danced in New York, and then he also like taught at USD in Vermillion. So dance is in the blood, and my kids never got into dance, but they really both enjoyed it. And then yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, we're just getting busy again. We got the outside of the house decorated. The inside hasn't started yet. We might get our tree this weekend. I haven't decided yet. If we do, it will have to be on Sunday when my daughter's actually back in town. Because I don't want to go and get it without the whole family. And then, yeah, start decorating. This time of year can be hard for a lot of people. It's hard for me just because my mom, like I said, my mom passed away a couple years ago, and she passed away right before Thanksgiving a couple years ago. So Thanksgiving through Christmas is just hard for me. But I do love it, and I love decorating. So not everybody's happy at the holidays. We need to remember that and be there for people when they need them. And yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys all have a good holiday season. If you're doing anything for Advent, like what are you doing? Like, are you opening up little minis every day? Do you have a different type of countdown calendar? Let me know down below. Are you doing any gift knits still? Like I said, I might have 1 or 2 more that I have to get done. I have to go through everything and see what I got for people. I try to start way at the beginning of the year, and just like, if I want to make somebody a pair of socks, I'll just make them a pair of socks and then put it away until a holiday. Or if I want to make them a hat, I'll make them a hat. It's the ones that I don't know what I want to make for them that it gets pushed off to the end of the year. So I might have a couple more to do. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, thank you for joining me and watching, and thanks for subscribing if you do. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe it so more people can hopefully find me. I do enjoy showing you guys what I'm working on, not just my own designs, but other people's, and all the other makers out there, and all the other designers, and all the other yarn dyers. Maybe you see something that you've never seen before, and you can go grab that as well. Oh, and I don't think I ever said the Jelly Roll blanket is by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. But I will have everything linked down below that I talked about. Hopefully, if I forget, just let me know. If you have a question about something I talked about, just like reach out and let me know. I do have all my information down below. You can just make a comment even, because I see all the comments. I try to either at least love a comment or, comment back. So it just, gets a little bit more in the community. All right, you guys, you have a good December. It's coming real quick, Friday. And today, I didn't say this at the beginning, but today is Wednesday. And I think I started recording this before 10. So Wednesday, the 29th, because tomorrow's the 30th. All right, and this will probably go up on Thursday, the 30th, so the last day of November. All right, you guys have a good couple weeks. I'll hope to be back in 2 weeks. All right, thanks.